I would say that, like, if given the opportunity, yeah, most men actually would prefer women who are virgins, but it's pretty rare. So, expectations, you know. Any disagreement on that?
I mean, that's just saying a fairy tale beginning is just hard to find. Like, it's just hard to find a virgin.
And women may want the same thing.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about that.
And
women want virgins, male virgins.
Sometimes you never know.
But a guy might say he wants a virgin because
guys say that all the time, but I've never met a male my age that was a virgin ever.
A guy might say he wants a virgin because, like, in his mind, he might be like, oh, it's tighter or it's whatever. I'm the first one to christen it. That's just like how a male's brain, I've heard them say this before.
I think it's just about purity.
It's how they say it. Yeah, the purity, but they say all that too.
And that's acceptable.
And when they say all that,
right.
they can say all that, but then when it comes to it sometimes, I've also had friends who are guys who were with a virgin, and it's totally okay if anyone is. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. But then they ended up being kind of disappointed because they were like, I couldn't actually have fun. She didn't know what she was doing. It felt more like a chore or something. And that's not all the cases. That's not every case. But there's, like, the fantasy that we build up in our head, and reality is so much different than anything we can imagine. Just like imagining a guy is going to, like, do some big grand romantic gesture or something, it ends up just being a flop or something.
Sure. Well, so there's two things there. I mean, this girl in question, obviously we don't know the details, but temperamentally she could have just been, even though she had sex with this guy, could have just been kind of not super into it. But as far as her not knowing what to do, I actually think that reflects more on the guy, because if you know what you're doing as a guy, you can take a girl and show her. Teach her.
That's very true. That's very
so
true.
if you know what you're if you know what you're doing in the bedroom as a guy, you you can.
Some don't though.
I completely agree with, like, men wanting purity. It makes sense. Like 100% makes sense. I don't know why there should be no debate for that. I don't know. It's so, like, bad to say you want a virgin. It's not that big of a deal, but it's like, you should maintain that purity yourself then. I feel like if you sit here and you're like, I want a virgin and I want somebody who's super pure, 100%. I agree with you, go crazy. But you also shouldn't have slept with 150 women just for you to teach me. Baby girl, it takes maybe to sleep with 2 people for you to understand, and 2 people consistently to understand what you like and what they like. So, hypothetically, if I was a virgin, 100%, I mean, I wouldn't be upset if my man had 2 partners, because it's like you lived 20-something years and you could have slept with 50 women, but you chose 2. You chose 2 to learn and gather and whatever you need to do, and you found me, and that was that. That's totally fine. But don't be out here fucking 150 women and expect to get a pure woman.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not totally wrong. The one thing I'd just point out, though, is I don't think it's wrong for a guy, let's say if a guy has slept with a lot of women, I don't think it's wrong for him to be attracted to a woman,
100%.
or want a woman who's had a low body count or 100%. Who is even a virgin.
It's like fetishes, right?
100%. I think if a guy slept with 50 girls and he meets a virgin, it's like, oh my, like, now I want it because no one's had it.
Yeah.
It's what men do. Men like it's like something that's never been touched before. Like 100% you're going to want to be that. It's like a trophy. Like you want that. And shit, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I wouldn't want a virgin.
A dude who's a virgin?
It's like a chase.
It is fun.
Is it?
It feels easier.
It's like he's so strong in your values to be 26 and a virgin.
Well, okay, there's different, let's say there's different kinds of virgins. There's guys who are like, just whether it's their looks or their personality, like either might repel women, so they involuntarily haven't been able to, or there are certainly men who are super attractive men, but they're like waiting, whether it's for religious reasons or they're not particularly inclined to just have casual sex. So, but I guess I don't think you're totally wrong. I definitely think there is something to, like, men should lead sort of by example and not be fucking man whores and then expect women to be.
Respect you at that level.
There is a bit of difference though between men and women, but I guess the one thing I would say is that in order for you to want to be with someone or want a certain quality in the partner, do you need to possess that same characteristics in order for you to want that characteristic in a partner?
No.
So
but I wasn't disagreeing with you. I think that's 100%. Yeah. I think if you're right. Like, it's not wrong for a man who slept with 30 women to want, or 50 women, 100 women to want someone that's pure. I think it's totally normal.
No,
Sure.
but you can't expect that. It's because it's not about characteristic. It's about action. Like, it's weird to say, oh, he can't want a woman that's a virgin because he's had this many bodies, whatever, slept with this many girls. But then it's not the same token with characteristics, because in that sense, I do want somebody that is different from me. I want somebody that lacks the part that I have strength in, and vice versa.
100%.
So
I don't.
it's-
You don't want to be with somebody
It
that's
depends
just
on
like you.
action. So it's like,
Right.
I expect your actions to be the same as my actions,
Sure.
not my characteristics.
Yeah, and I think where I agree with you is I don't think men should be striving to just be absolute fucking man whores, just running through a bunch of chicks. Me personally, I prefer, longer term relationships. If I sleep with a girl, I want there to be continuity. I have no interest in sleeping with a girl once
I
and then
agree.
never talking to her
Yeah,
again.
there's no point.
So I don't think like guys should really be trying to just like, if you're only going to sleep with a girl once, me personally, like, look, guys can move however they want. One, I don't think it's worth your time as a guy. There's a whole bunch of reasons why. I'm not going to get into it. But in any case, I think if you are going to sleep with a girl, you should at least have an intention. Maybe you only see each other for a month. Maybe you find out you don't like each other, whatever. But at least have some
Sort of
base
emotional connection,
intention
yeah.
of like wanting there to be some
Yeah,
continuity.
it's moving with intent.
But I wouldn't object to like a guy who's in the past, he slept with 100 women. I wouldn't sit there and I wouldn't be like, he can't, it's wrong for him to want to date a woman with a low body count. I wouldn't object to that.
No, like I said,
preference.
it's a preference. You can want what you want.
In the same way that a lot of times we desire traits in a partner that we don't possess ourselves. Like maybe
100%.
you want someone who's wealthy, but you're not wealthy yourself. You
Exactly.
find the fact that they're wealthy attractive, but you're broke,
Exactly.
Or they're funny, but you're not particularly funny, or whatever it may be. So we all desire traits in partners that us ourselves don't necessarily possess.
Right, but at what point does it become delusional when you can't have that?
What do you mean?
Like at what point? Like at what boundary?
When it comes to body count, or
Or like,
Yeah.
I mean, sure. Like, at what point does it become delusional? To think like, because I've done this, of course I can have that.
on the guy's part, like
Both.
delusional.
Both, yeah. You can speak from the guy's part. At what
I don't
point
think
for
it's-
you, for a guy, if you slept with 250 women, for you to sit back one day and be like, yeah, nope, I'm over this. I really would like just a pure virgin. I really want that.
I
At
don't-
what point does it become completely delusional?
I don't think it becomes delusional at any point, whether you can.
But are you proving that
if
for your
you're-
lifestyle?
But okay, if let's say you're upfront with a girl, and because some women who are more chaste, let's say, who don't have a high body count or who are virgins, they themselves might object to partnering with someone
Right.
partnering with a guy was a.
But then there's
fucking
also
man whore.
liars.
That's true. And there's also a subset of women who are not as preoccupied with body count as men are.
The
like
same.
a lot of, I think women care about it less. There's certainly women that do
100%.
care about it, but I think
I can 100% agree with
women
that.
care about it a little less than
Because
men.
it's almost expected of men to do what they do. It's expected. Like, it would be a little bit delusional of me to think I'm going to marry a virgin, or I'm going to be with a virgin. Men do what men do best, and that's chase and seek and get the prey.
Wait, so you'd be down for a virgin? Like if I knew a virgin, could I get you guys linked up or what?
Probably not, no.
Oh, okay, so you're not down for the virgin.
I mean, I'd be down if there was like an emotional connection, right?